that is conservative can do in office now is simply vote no on all of these rushed Democratic bills that people are only given maybe a day, 2 days, a week at most for huge 3-inch thick, 3-ring binders full of political doublespeak. So one, if I'm not assassinated, and I don't say that facetiously, I'm the only guy holding government bureaus accountable. All anyone can do, rich, poor, gay, straight, whatever celestial being makes it to Senate, all they can do is, go along with everything, vote yes on these bills. All they do is pass laws, right? Well, more laws means more restrictions. So there's nothing in Washington right now at all that is being designed to further liberate or restore the American birthright. So every bill, you could just vote no by proxy. And by proxy means you don't have to be there. You can just tap on your smartphone. The Senate and the House of Reps, all these people do is vote on more restrictive laws and or depleting this country of the money that it doesn't even print anymore. And I just think, I have tons of priorities: holding people accountable, going back into events like Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, JFK, and straightening out those. But whenever one wants to do that, a lot of people that covered up a lot of deaths, the flashlight will be turned on them, and they're not going to like someone like me stepping up. You can better believe if I do get elected, it'll be a complete media blackout, and or there will be tons of negative press about me saying I did this and I did that. I already had my first piece of my first hit piece, actually, when I ran 2 years ago against Bill Cassidy. I said, look, he's a deep state rhino. He's gonna vote to impeach Trump, all this stuff. I've been vindicated, big deal. But a local news station wrote some article saying that I beat some woman and all this stuff. They don't say who, they don't have a case number, they don't have a victim, there's no author to it. But the thing is, it's a power of a headline, and the people that don't, like to get down to nitty grit, see candidate facing felony or something, and it's like, for what, when, and where? I'd love to know, because I'm the last to find out. But to me, it just tells me, I'm over the target when I do something like that. I have tons of priorities. I know, I'm giving almost a blanket statement, but I'm trying to say, before one even gets to that, all anyone can do, no matter what your priorities are, is rush up to Washington, D.C. and literally just vote no on everything that's passed, because nothing being proposed is going to make us freer, wealthier, or wiser.
Well, I got to admit, I agree with that. The sheer depth of the federal government's intervention in people's lives to a degree that just shocks me. We saw that in the past 2 years with COVID. We saw it at the national level. We saw it at the local level. You might hate it, or maybe you didn't, but it was the point that Mayor Gantone tried to take people's unemployment benefits away from them. They were caught outside not following COVID guidelines here in St. Louis. Talk about the American. I have to admit, part of the American private to you. Where do you see the federal government, in particular, private and the American citizen?
Joe, again, I'm hearing every other word. I heard, where do I stand? Something about a private citizen. I'm so sorry for this.
No, and I'm sorry for that connection. I get off my butt in this. But the issue of privacy, I'm seeing the federal government basically into a private endeavor. Do you see it that way as well? How would that deal on the issue of privacy?
Okay, privacy, the federal government on privacy. I'm trying to get the call to the question. The question is what we can do to reduce the
amount of intervention in government, in people's lives on the part of the government?
Okay. Well, we've done a lot of things that we could. I mean, enough people turned out to vote in 2020 to easily show that Donald Trump won, but we're not allowed to have that reflected. The people are not allowed to govern themselves, and so all we can do is continue to try and overwhelm at any sort of election period. But what hurts is when we vote on iPads and when these people that take control through fraud and deceit, for instance, the 16th Amendment, the income tax was never properly ratified. It was, I used the air quotes, passed during the Christmas of 1913 when there wasn't even a full quorum. And if people were given time to even read what was in the bill, there would have been a unanimous vote at that time to vote no. So what people can do to stop the encroachment of privacy of this federal government is continue to stand up and try and overwhelm them like we did in 2016. I don't have all the answers. I really don't. All I know is if we act like sheep, we're going to attract wolves. And Donald Trump, I speak very highly of him, but at the same time, too, I want to let people know I'm not drunk off him, and I'm not in a cult of his. And I don't say that to be in some middle ground. I'm going to lay some hard facts right now. He never pardoned Julian Assange or Edward Snowden, but at the same time, he was surrounded by people like Jared Kushner, who take money from big tech and literally spent millions and millions of dollars to buy 666 Fifth Avenue in New York or something. You can look into that. So I think Trump, with what comes with all that money to be able to run for president is a huge ego too. And sometimes you can't get to him in time. And also too, he wasn't ready for just how corrupt DC was. I don't think anyone was. But like I said, to stop the encroachment, just continue to stand up. I mean, if enough people speak out, we'll break the algorithms, if you will. Now is not the time to act scared. Yes, I've been canceled. I'm on my 4th YouTube. I'm on my 7th TikTok. Big deal. But if we continue to go along with this and get used to it, if we grovel to this, nothing will change. It'll only increase. Submitting to this COVID narrative, which is the opposite of the American birthright, allows these bureaus to set the president to rule by emergency constantly and ignore our constitutional birthrights and Bill of Rights. And that's what they want to. That's what they want to constantly keep. They tried to ratchet up the monkeypox deal, and no one was buying it. So now it's Russia, and Russia stood to gain nothing by the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipeline. And I mean, even Garland and Biden have said, it's going to, in so many words, get destroyed. Mark my words. So, just standing up. And so, in conclusion, everyone needs to stand up and hold their ground and be able to be politically literate whenever we're having some sort of agenda put onto us. Think, what do we stand to gain? And what are we giving up for what we're getting?
When you've spoken a few times about the American birthright, how would you describe the American birthright?
The American birthright is something that our founding fathers sat and mulled over for a long time and completed in 1776, and that is having an existence for citizens in a sovereign nation state without the rule of a monarchy. But also too, these founding fathers, as wise as they are in hashing out our Bill of Rights and all these things, all they're doing is stating an inalienable human right that, I feel every human should have upon being born on this earth. We shouldn't have to pay taxes for the planet we're born on. But it's just like in tort law. If anyone is a lawyer or been to law school, everyone owes you the duty to act reasonable. and vice versa. You owe everyone the duty to act reasonable. It's that social contract that they're trying to afford us from the second of our conception, and not being infringed upon in any sort of liberty. So, perfect example, an infringement I feel, subjective to Zan John, is, hey, you need to take this genetically engineered or this mRNA in your body that doesn't occur naturally, it's patented, and you need to wear a mask. Now, that on its face, if you're looking back on our history, is in no way, shape, or form making America more free. So the American birthright, to me, prevents against that, but the workaround is these emergency use authorizations and things of that nature. That way, that American birthright is suspended. The duty to act reasonable to the American citizenry is suspended under the pretense of, I'm going to use air quotes, safety. And so, to me, the American birthright is what was developed to stand against any kind of tyranny, no matter how sophisticated it is. That way people can have families and have businesses and pursue their dreams physically and economically.
When you are in the United States Senate and you have Anthony Fauci in front of you and you think, what would be some of the questions you would like to pose to Anthony Fauci?
Okay, you're saying, again, I didn't hear you too clearly. So if I was sitting across from Anthony Fauci, or if I was deposing him, what would I say?
If you were in the Senate, you think if you had a forum to address, officially address Anthony Fauci, how would you handle Anthony Fauci? What would you ask? What would you say to Anthony Fauci?
Well, here's the deal. I do think it's a moot point. He's a habitual liar, and he's a big pharma whore. I mean, he was propped up because he's not going to say the truth. So trying to get the truth out of this guy, I mean, it's an insult to our intelligence every time this man speaks. I mean, he has tons of sponsors. He was the one that was killing gay people, or what's called, if you look at CIA and FBI documents, the undesirables. Anything other than straight white male was considered undesirable. And he blocked. That's why they made the movie Dallas Buyers Club. Anthony Fauci is simply the guy that passed the tests through the vetting of these medical bureaus and the CDC, which is a for-profit corporation, mind you. And so I wouldn't ask him anything. I wouldn't even dignify him. I mean, he's a joke to me. I mean, why he's all of a sudden going to slap his knee and be, you know what, Zan, I'm going to tell you the truth. I highly doubt that. So even given the opportunity, I think it would be a moot point, sir.
I'm so appreciative that you thought about two of the things that you very correctly articulated. Let me ask you, go back to September 1st. Joe Biden gave a speech in Philadelphia. What are your thoughts about the Joe Biden gave